I feel like documenting this process a little bit. What I did with these are my new cooking grates that are just hanging up on these nails on this framework of this structure that I had built to cover the old smoker. And now I'm going to start spraying oil on them, and I'm going to start seasoning them in the 440 degree oven. This is an oil spray mister kind of a can. It's just got canola oil in it. I'm using that because it's what I happen to have in it right now. So now I'm gonna put these in the oven for a while, and I'll keep doing this process several times. And here they are for the first time in my oven. Got a little aluminum foil to catch drips. Okay, this is after the first seasoning. From here I can see with my eyes that the color's a little bit darker, but I'm gonna spray some more. Okay, these are kind of stinking up the house with smoke, so I decided to just do 2 layers and leave them to cool. I did 1 more layer of seasoning on these guys. They'll get seasoned as they get used. I wasn't going to make any videos about building the deck for this smoker to live on, but I thought this process was kind of interesting, so I figured I'd talk about it. I went back and forth about pouring my own concrete footers for it, and then that ended up seeming like more trouble than I really needed to go through, because I'm just building a little bitty deck. It's just like 6 feet by 5 feet. It's just big enough to hold the smoker and me standing next to the smoker. And so I thought about doing an above grade kind of installation where you go to a place like Lowe's or Home Depot and you buy what are called pier blocks, concrete blocks. But when I started trying to prepare the space where the smoker's going to be, I started running into tree roots and realizing I can't make these 12 by 12 holes without running into a whole bunch of tree roots, so I need something smaller. I saw these and realized, oh, I wonder if I could. I started doing 2 of these and I thought, oh, it's kind of an interesting process. I figured I'd show some time lapse of that. There's only so deep I can go with the angle grinder with a cutting disc the size that it is, so that's as deep as I go. I was going to use these pre-made concrete pier blocks on the corners, but they turned out to be way too big. And so, for example, over here, ran into all this, plus a little bit more on the right-hand side of it, and there was no way I was going to stick a 12 by 12. Like these things that I bought are 8 by 8. And then I decided to use 2 by 4s instead of 2 by 6s, which would have been, stiffer and stronger. But I went online and did some calculations about how much the things would sag, and I feel like 2 by 4s is within the acceptable level. I wanted to temporarily hold these front and back rails, joists, whatever you call them, because they weren't attached to anything. They were just sort of sitting there. But I want to put these deck planks on top, and I wanted those to sort of at least temporarily be held into position. So I've glued these little triangle blocks on the inside. So thanks to our friend Andy, we have a trailer and a truck, and yeah, maybe I should advertise his business for him. Anyway, less than an hour after showing up, Jim and I have it up here just all by ourselves because he used this come along to sort of pull it up. And we have it pretty well battened down. My view from up here. I get to be nervously watching this thing in my rear view mirror the whole way back home, hoping it doesn't move around any. First off, I'd like to apologize for not having documented very well the whole procedure of getting the smoker here into my backyard from Jim's place. I was just kind of stressed out about getting the trailer and getting the help I needed and finding the time to get it done, and I didn't want to really be bothered with setting up the camera, so I haven't done a great job of documenting the making of this deck or the transportation of the smoker. But here it is. So now I got a can of grapeseed oil spray, which I'm going to use to season this thing. I saw different things online about, there's a lot of advice on the internet about seasoning a cast iron skillet or seasoning a smoker, and some people insist on the whole smoke point thing, and I think that is important enough to be concerned about, because what I don't want is for the thing to be sticky and tacky. And so that's why the Smoking Dad barbecue guy talks about using one kind of oil here in the cook chamber area and another kind of oil over here on the firebox where it gets hot. But my plan, which I've never heard anyone address, and I really don't know why, is I'm gonna build a modest fire in the firebox, and I've taken a little grate, a little bit of this expanded metal, and I'm gonna build a small fire here in the cook chamber so that the whole thing will be more or less at like 300 or 400 degrees, like I would do with a cast iron skillet. And I don't have issues with sticky cast iron skillets after an hour at 400, even though the smoke point of the oil is above that. So polymerization is one thing, carbonization is another, and there's not a whole lot of science to be found on the internet. There's a whole lot of, well, I think this and I think that. So anyway, here's what I'm going to do. So anyway, I'm starting up some, I don't know if you can see smoke wafting past me, but I've got some, I've got a chimney full of charcoal getting started, and then I'm going to start up my fires here. So what I've done is I've sprayed it with this grapeseed oil and just kind of wiped off the excess. So it's just kind of a fairly thin coat. I'm zoomed out really far so you can see the top of the stack once the smoke starts coming out. I'm not bothering with the legs at all. I figure what I might do with them eventually is spray some of that high heat, whatever the brand name is, the people that make all the spray products for like automotive work. I'm sure all of you can say the name, but I can't right now. Anyway, I might use some of that stuff. And by the way, I don't have the grates in it right now. I figure I'm just going to start this, and when it stops being super smoky, then I'll take the grates, which I sprayed a little bit of the oil onto over there off camera, and then I'll put them in and let it put another layer of seasoning on those. I need to get rid of that. So I've got a fire going on in here, and I think in just a minute, and you can see through there that there's a fire going on in there. Just want to make sure there isn't pollen settling on it more than necessary. The stack is starting to get hot. I mean, I can touch it, It's not too hot to touch, but it's starting to get hot. Anyway, maybe I've started a brand new internet trend. Light a fire inside the cook chamber. Take the... Oh, that reminds me, I need to put the grates on. Here we go. Now, as I have mentioned elsewhere, these are already kind of a dark amber because I've already put 3 layers of seasoning on them in my oven inside. Okay. Whew. Okay, it's the next day. The thing is totally cooled down. And it's still a little tacky, a little bit sticky. It's, you can see some dust, well, maybe you can't see, but dust is starting to adhere to the top of it. I think over here on the firebox it got done for real. But all that tells me, like here it's good, and over here even it's not quite, it's gummy. So I just need to build a bigger fire in them. I think my technique was good. I think grapeseed oil is fine. I do need it a little hotter than it was. So it does need to be closer to the smoke point. I've already wiped off some of the oil. There was actually oil dripping here. Like up here, there's oil just completely wet. Which I'm fascinated by because you'd think this would have gotten a lot of direct heat from the fire that was in here, but it was admittedly a small fire, the one that I did in here. So, lesson learned. Yeah, this surface is definitely tacky in most places. Getting all this oxygen. This is a heat gun, but I have the heat all the way down to 0. It's basically just a hair dryer on the low setting. So if I do this, big roaring fire in there really quickly. Check that out. Wow. We've already got a really nice fire going inside of here, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and close it down, I guess. And so I also wanted to just show you that it's definitely taking on some nice color now compared to the first time. I wasn't planning on cooking on this thing today. I was just going to season it, but the temperature was right, and I wanted some smoky roasted chickpeas anyway. And then here's some salmon that's about to go on. I'm going to put it all the way over here. And after I flip it, I'll put a temperature probe in it. Okay, it's only been a couple of minutes, but I feel like I need to keep a closer watch on this than usual because it's so hot in there. Okay, now it's off. Let's do it. Okay, in daylight, this is what this thing is looking like now. Starting to get some nice color on it. I think I want to just do one more layer of oil on it, and then I'll be done with it. Okay, it's been going for about an hour now, I guess. And I finally have some proper ignition inside the chamber. And so I've put the grates in there. And the fire in the firebox has had no trouble at all doing well, because it had plenty of oxygen, but I had some issues with keeping the fire inside the cook chamber going properly. It's not designed to run a fire it's not designed to have wood trying to ignite at the place where I have it. Okay, I'm done seasoning this thing for now. It's a nice amber color. And ideally it would be, I mean, it's starting to cool down. It's still hot. Earlier, this cook chamber was intensely hot. Like you could put your hand 3 or 4 inches away from it and it was hot. You can feel the heat coming off of it. Yeah, this will have to do for now. Ideally, I would like to do another couple of layers of seasoning on it, but you have to go through a lot of wood to get this entire chunk of metal hot enough to polymerize oil on it, and I just don't want to churn through that much wood. So the next video should be some sort of biscuit test, or the low and slow cooking of some chicken thighs, probably.